On this week's Beyond the Last Man, we're going to review the 1-0 against Brentford in the Carabaocup. And we're looking ahead to the new season of the WSL. And for that, we bring in our English Gunner Red Lottie. She's going to give us a bit more input in it. She's going to be later on the show. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to a long overdue new episode of the Beyond the Last Man. Obviously, we had a really long summer, and me being so busy actually behind the scenes rather than being on front of camera. But since we are starting with the Women's Super League on the weekend, with Arsenal playing Liverpool, I thought we have to put in a show and a program. The other host of the other show on our channel, Johnny Giles, welcome. Good. It's as you said, it's good to be on the other side. So yeah, very welcome. How are you?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous as a pundit, so hopefully all goes well. And I used all this fame on the other show. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be back. As you said, it's been a long summer, hasn't it? It's been a busy summer, and the women's game seems to be with the World Cup in the summer seems so long, doesn't it? It's like the last season seems like a year ago in the Women's Super League. So there's a real excitement building.
Yeah, exactly.
At the Emirates Stadium should be, as you said before we came on here, it's nearly sold out now, isn't it?
It is. Well, I'm not sure if it's completely sold out, but they're selling like recordly. I think it was 45,000, nearly 50,000. So like there's a few tickets obviously still available. It's just great to see like what's happening in women's football, and it's just a shame that we didn't qualify for the Champions League. That was a bit of a kick at the teeth. But look, new season, new beginnings, maybe like same as Arsenal, we can concentrate, or the women can concentrate a bit more on the domestic one. The pressure will be bigger now on the domestic one because they don't have the Champions League where they can win something. So they have to concentrate. So, but yeah, as I said, Beyond the Last Man is kind of like our opposition show of the Premier League, and then the main event of the men when they play the big games. So we're trying to cover all the cup games and the women's side, and we're also trying to get Lottie back. I know Lottie's quite busy, in London, but she's definitely our resident Gooner. We had a few recruitments for just Arsenal for the women's side, like an Irish girl is actually writing for them now, and we're trying to get her on the show. So let's see if we can get something going as well, because as I said, the women's game is growing, and we just want to be on that as well, and give the best support what we can give the women. But I think as I said, we covering both sides of the field. Yesterday was the first game in the Carabaocup, third round against Brentford. Not a bad team, I presume, from Brentford. They actually had quite a strong team out, and so they were trying obviously to give us a game. And we actually went quite not conservative, but we did kind of try to play the players who on the fringe, give the academy players a bit of a run as well. And as we were just discussing before, we had as a starter Charles Agoe Jr., number 71 in Arsenal. Got his move. I think he's only 18 or 19 years old. And yeah, everybody was looking at the sheet and said who is that? So did we buy a thing on it? Some people said it was Pepe in disguise, but no, it's not. It's actually a young talent which we joined us from 2015 from Fulham, so which is quite good. No, look, from my side, I actually had just a bit of a side. I actually had to watch it on the phone, so I didn't see everything on it. But I seen the goal from Nelson, which is good. Was great take, and look, Nelson, I think, is one of the talents, who we really need to capture, because I think sometimes we will need him as well in the next couple of games in the thing. So it's great. Even Smith Rowe got a run out. Ramsdale back in goal, trying to claim back his number one. So did you watch it, Johnny? What did you think of the game yesterday, anyway?
Yeah, I thought, sadly, I was working till 9:30, sadly, but I watched the extended highlights today, actually, on the telly. I thought some of the newspapers were saying it's going to be a bit of a headache to be still left in the cup competition, with the Premier League and Champions League, but I think it's a good headache to have. It's good.
Yeah.
With Man City losing to Newcastle last night, I think there's a good realistic chance of maybe even going all the way in it this year. Once you get rid of City, anything, you always feel that you're going to have a chance. But I thought it was well. The goal that we scored was a mistake by Jorgensen. It was a poor back pass he made, and then Nketiah was really alive there to get onto the mistake, and he set up Nansen nicely, who finished it nicely in the bottom right-hand corner of Flecken's goal. If only Jesus had looked at that from when he plays over on Sunday.
Yeah. Don't mention the war.
Sorry, Gabriel, hoping you're not listening. Oh, jeez. Or as Amy says, but I thought it was mad actually when I looked at the newspaper. I didn't think it was Ian Smith Rowe's 100th appearance last night for Arsenal. Yeah, he had a good chance there, which was well saved by Flecken, and it was good to see Elneny back as well. He was nearly out.
I think it's a funny with Smith Rowe, and I think I heard a few comments, and as I said, I didn't see probably the full game, same as you, watched more of the highlights on it.
Yeah.
And I think Smith Rowe really needs some game time, and I think as you said, might not be great that we're in the cup, but they're exactly the games where he should be in, and he should be taken, that. And as you said, 100 games he's already played, and I remember, is it 2 or 3 years ago now? We actually had a supporters call. With all the Arsenal supporters clubs in the team, and Mertesacker was on that call, and we were talking about Smith Rowe, and that was kind of the emergence when he came in, and he basically a talent, and when he came back, Huddersfield, I think, and he had these injuries, and he said there was a lot of work being done with Emil to actually get his confidence back, and actually the confidence of tackling, because he was injured. And obviously it healed probably because he's obviously a young fella, but the mental blockage of getting into a tackle and tackling properly, and actually a lot of people are asking, why does he wear his shin pads so low? He has the socks down and the shin pads low, or even smaller shin pads than normally. There was actually a mental trick from the one of the managers or the trainers for them, what they had, or the physios, to kind of break this kind of thing in his head to say, get into it, you won't get injured, the team for. And because he got injured again, I think he might still be in this kind of, I don't know, mental state of, not tackling, because a lot of people said he didn't go into every tackle in the full way he should be. And look, you can understand, he's a young fella who got injured now 3 times in his career already, and he knows if he would get injured again, that could be curtains for his career, or he can play somewhere. So it's very hard, and I think they have to get the confidence back, and you can only get confidence back if you play. And that's why I think these games are so important, because we have so many fringe players, not even in the first 22 or first 25, but even from the academy, So we need to give them a game time if we need them coming down the road, and that's exactly what it is. And I think, look, some people said he didn't have a good game. I thought he was an all right game. So look, he needs this time, and I think for the team we fielded, for all the changes we had, I think we did quite a good job. Look, wasn't always pretty to watch, but we get the job done, and that's all you want to do, And we rested a lot of players. He played a few players on, so look, it's not bad, So I really think it was good. What do you think about all the rest of it? I think. Not much more, I think.
I thought Aaron Ramsdale had a great game. I thought he really put it up to Arteta that he still wants to be Arsenal's number 1. The save from Wissa, I think it was around the 60-minute mark, was probably crucial in the game, the way he was going, because Brentford were really coming at us. But I thought he made, another 2, I think it was another two decent saves after that. He was getting a lot of stick off Brentford fans, but he comes back all the time, Ramsdale, I find, when he has a poor game, the next game, and he's had a lot going on in his personal life as well, and he's still only young as well, Ramsdale, and that can play in your mind mentally as well, but he seems to be a strong character as well. He keeps coming back, and to be honest, before we came on air, as you said, I think Arteta's going to have a headache with Ray and Ramsdale. Can you actually have 2 big number ones. What do you think yourself, Martin? Yeah, do you think
it is kind of like, as I said, it's never been done, but I think sometimes when you're a manager and you want to grow, like, you might have to do something out of the box, something what's never been done, because if you just replicate what everybody else does, you're never going to get forward.
Yeah.
But obviously we didn't see it yet happening. Not successful. There's a lot of goalkeepers. If you're listening to even Ben Foster on his blog and everything, says, look, it's never easy, and they have the inside of it. Like Leno obviously putting his 5 pence in as well, and said, look, when I was thinking for, but I think like there's a bit of a difference between Raya and Ramsdale and Leno and Ramsdale, because like Leno was kind of like on the way out anyway in some way. He didn't get his game in Germany, so like he was kind of like, he's still a good keeper, but he wasn't at that level what he was. And it was just great to see Ramsdale yesterday being up to his old tricks, like when he actually in the last minute he caught the ball and he looked back at the crowd and give them some shithousery. And that's what Ramsdale is good. The only problem is, I think, and maybe that's gonna rein it in as well, is that he got a bit too cocky. I'm the number one. He didn't have to care, and then he's too much thing. I know he said he needs this attention, and he needs this, the crowd behind him, even giving out to him or whatever, swearing at him just to push him up. But I think sometimes in some games, it could have been just taken away as well. Look, it gives him a bit of rest. It gives him everything but he has to. He knows he has to be, every game he's going to play now, he has to be full there. So just to claim back his number one. On the other side, the same is with Raya. Raya has to kind of, he knows if I make a mistake, and as I said to you before, I don't think he could have covered himself in glory with the Spurs game. I know he had this fantastic save, and like so did Ramsdale. Like, he had brilliant saves, against Leicester, the first season he was on. So you can make saves, but you've been judged on clean sheets. And look at some of the goals he had, couldn't do him much more. For the first goal against Spurs, I think he could have put it over the bar, take it out of the game, like just take away the thing. But look, that's football. I think as you said, the headache is with Arteta. He knows what he did. He didn't just go in and just bought somebody and said, look, what am I going to do now? There is some plan behind it, and as we always said for the last 2 years, trust the process. So I'm trusting him with that. But on the other side as well, we said last year when we had Turner, which is not a bad keeper in his own way, we said like, oh my God, hopefully Ramsdale doesn't get injured. I heard that every time I'm in the river bar. Don't get injured, because like we have to put Turner in the goal. Once we put Turner in the goal in the Europa League, oh my God, he has jelly hands. He can't catch a ball. Now we have a keeper who is basically like, as good as the other one. Now we say, why did we buy this keeper? So look, we're a bunch of moaners. We like it. Nothing else to talk about on this podcast. So yeah, look, I hope it works out. Having good two keepers. If one gets injured, we have another one. That's all we can hope for. I'm just hoping it doesn't mess up, the communication, but it just doesn't seem to be like that yet. So yeah, I think Ramsdale is still a good keeper. He will fight for his place. And as more games as we have, as more Carabaocup games, FA Cup games, Champions League games, we need to have two strong keepers. That's as simple as that. And look, Arteta knows we don't. That's why we're sitting here and having a YouTube channel that makes €7 a month. By the way, €7 a month. If you want to support this thing, there's a button just underneath here. Press the thanks, and then you can give whatever you want. Just everything helps. We are on the verge to get Johnny a new laptop. Now,
we're a long way off.
We're a long way off, but yeah, look, we look at this. We do this all for we are Arsenal fans. We don't do this for profit, because otherwise we'd be broke by now. But we all have our own job, and that's what it is. So like, yeah, look, we are accepting. But yeah, look, we are in the next round, West Ham. So that's going to be another away game. I don't even know when they're going to play that. I think it's after the international break. I think
October 24th, 1st November. It's the end of which is I think it's the week after.
It's just after international break and then Champions League. So we having a game every third, fourth game. Three games a week.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, and I think we have the squad for it now.
Yeah, we actually
West Ham are going to be up for it, and as you said, Man City, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's quite good and well, quite good. Like, they got stung. I don't know. I actually didn't see yesterday. I only seen the result. I don't know who they played. Did they play a weekend team? I know they've seen a few players in there, but I didn't see it. I don't think Haaland played.
No,
I didn't
Hannah
see
didn't
it.
play, but they had a strong enough team. They did have
Yeah,
the first 11 was strong. They had no Ederson in goal, but Ortega is pretty decent keeper.
yeah,
And Newcastle, they were all over them in the first half, but Newcastle, in fairness, they came out in the second half meaning business. And
yeah,
I think when you put it up to Man City, they do rattle a bit, and that
yeah.
Isaac fella is quite good. We were linked with him there. I think a season or two ago, but Newcastle will be Newcastle are starting to game a bit of form. I think that 8-0 win against Sheffield United was probably the worst time to face Newcastle. When the confidence is up.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think a lot of the Premier League teams are playing each other in this next round. I think so. From the quarterfinals onwards, you could get an easy enough draw, and this could be the year where it's been 1993. Incredibly, was the last time we won the League
I
Cup.
know, yeah. So it's a
Paul
mad
Merson
one,
was still playing for Arsenal. That's how far back that is. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, but it would be nice, wouldn't it, to even just be in a cup final and to break that duck of so many years not winning. It would be, and I think Arteta would seem to be the manager, doesn't he? That he could break that.
Yeah, 100%. And it
Yeah,
is kind of like, the only thing what we didn't win last year was a bit, well, we won the charity shield now, but
yeah, yeah,
but we didn't win any silverware with any kind of meaning, kind of like, not
yeah,
one-off games, such
yeah,
like that. So I
yeah,
think, look, any trophy which would be coming our way, I would take, and this
yeah,
it's not an easy trophy, as we know, because you do have to concentrate on the Premier League, and I think Premier League is going to be our priority, even with City be running away already. But I really think that winning just breeds winning, and that's what you want to do. And as I said, as long as we're in there, as long as we can give people a run out, and just keep them fit for what we need to do. And the season is going to be immensely long, and we just want to have like as much game time as we possibly can. But look, it is what it is. As I said, next time is West Ham.
yeah.
What do you think of West Ham they actually had a good start to the season compared to last year, let's say like that.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, they've had a good start to the season under Moyes, considering they lost a big player with Declan Rice, who went to us.
Be
But he seems
interesting
to,
actually him going back to West Ham, innit?
yeah, I wonder will he
Even
actually
if he's
start
not going to
the first
play
game?
like that,
Yeah,
I can't see it, but like he will be probably. I'm pretty sure like he will be, if he's not starting, he will be on the bench, because I think it'd be a sweet return for him in some way, don't it? Like, it kind of
I
like,
think the
come
West
back,
Ham
and see
fans,
what's like.
yeah, I don't think he'll be hated, really, will he? Won't. I don't think he'll get that type of atmosphere. I think he'd be well. He was well loved by West Ham, and he gave. I
Yeah,
think in the Europa League, sorry, the Europa Conference League, he left him with a bit of a
yeah,
send off, didn't he? He was by far their best player probably in the last 2 or 3 years, really, wasn't he?
yeah.
Declan.
Well, definitely.
Yeah,
He was the driving engine
yeah,
behind the West Ham. Like, and
yeah.
obviously feeling with him with the trophy is definitely something what he's gonna cherish for a long time, because that's his first trophy. But like, look, he went into Arsenal, and after one game he won the second. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. What a way to start.
So that's what it is, and kind of like that's what he's gonna go for as well, I presume. But yeah, look,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
it's just gonna be one of these games, As I said, I can't see him playing. But I
Yeah,
think he will be on the bench, just the presence, being, especially because it's
presence. Yeah,
away.
yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
that we'll definitely have. So look, at long may it last. Like, next game for us is against Bournemouth on Saturday
Exactly. Yeah,
in the Riverby. So 3 o'clock. So we are downstairs. It's on Premier Sports, I think, that
yeah.
game.
So we should
So
be
it's
okay.
definitely on the telly. So it's
Yeah,
it's one
I
of
think
these
so.
3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs. Who is not going to be on some dodgy box, and we have to pack our
Rush
bags
off
and go
the
half time. Like, we have to go somewhere else. So yeah, like
Yeah,
it should be okay. So yeah.
yeah,
So basically, just move on then, to, obviously, as we said on the start, the whole show is kind of like beyond the last man. It's kind of like more looked at the women's game, and after I said disappointing start to the Arsenal women's season, like being knocked out of the Champions League qualifiers, a bit unfortunate, because I think we had a bit of a bad run, you know, like coming back from the World Cup with some players. Never mind about the injuries we already had from last year, but we had a few players playing in the World Cup, then coming back, had a bit of a training time, you know, played. Then they had to go back to the national team, and in between, then they were Champions League, and so it was a bit of a scrappy one, I think. And it's a pity, look, that they fell at the last hurdle. It would have been a great start for their season to at least qualifying for Europe, you know. But look, as you said, it is what it is. They bought a few players. We're just going to have a Swedish defender, Amanda Ilstedt, Canadian forward, Chloe Lacazette, and then obviously Alicia Russo from Manchester United, our record signing. And then in the last couple of days, we bought Kira Cooney-Cross, another Australian 20-year-old who is going to go straight in with Kathleen Ford and what's the other girl's name?
Steph
You know.
Catley.
Steph Catley, yeah. So like, you know, so be a strong Australian kind of like crew what we have, and it's kind of see like how everybody is going in. We bought 3 other young stars as well, but they all went on loan. Naomi Williams, Frida Goffrey, and Michelle Ayemang, they're gone. But also, not only did we bought players, we also lost a few players. Some of them, I think they were kind of known that they're gonna go. Especially Manu Iwabuchi because she was on loan already. But Raffaele, I think that's going to be a big miss in that she had to go somewhere. She obviously it was private or personal terms she had to leave, but I think that wasn't calculated. And you know, like specific, I think with Williamson out as well. Still, that's going to be a big loss. And as well because we're so in defense, you know, and I think we've seen it in the match in Sweden, like where they lost, you know, the defense, it's like our pairing in the men's team, like, you know, between Saliba and Gabriel, they are just playing so well together. And I think that's one of the pairings on the pitch. You really need to be really solid. And if you have to chop and change, it's never going to work out, you know, and that's what we have now. And with Winreuter being out as well, Williamson being out, our defense just really got so pulled now. And like now with Raffaele gone as well, be interesting is going to be playing right back. But yeah, look, we can see what it is. It should be a good start, as we said, against Liverpool. You know, full house would be great because that'd be an amazing feat. You know, because Liverpool, I know like they're a big draw in the game, in the men's game, but like in the women's game, they still have to go a little bit for it. But look, it's a thing on it. Let me have a look where it is. That's a question, you know.
Lottie just messaged me there, said she just setting up her laptop and she'll be with us in a couple of minutes, which is good, yeah.
Good. Well, let me have a look. I can find the email on it. So yeah, what do you think about the Arsenal women? I'm gonna have a look and see if I can message.
Yeah, I think under Jonas Eidevall, I think he's really made the women's team strong. You know, I think Elisa Russo, that signing could be nearly the missing piece to win the league. You know, I think her goals for United, and she's a really good striker, and she done really well for England in the World Cup. I think she's that out and out striker, like in the men's team, that can guide you to a title. You know, you've got Katie McCabe, a superb player. You know, that's what's being biased, being Irish, but I think she's got that kind of Patrick Vieira type mentality. You know, she can gel a team together. You know, she's good in the dressing room. She's not afraid to speak out neither, where she thinks positional wise the team can do better. You know, I know she had a bit of a run in with the former Irish manager Vera Pauw, and she gave, you know, and I think that's good to see a player that's able to speak her mind, because she's got the talent, Katie, and I think she's entitled to it. You know, she's a star now, and I think Arsenal fans really love her. But I think I like Manuela Zinsberger, actually, the goalkeeper. I think she's quite solid. I think she's Austrian, Martin, is she?
She's Austrian, like as I said, there's a few more Austrian roots than there is in the men's team, you know, in the women's team. So like with Schneiderbeck, you know, started all this off like when she was a couple of years ago, like, you know, she was on national team captain, you know, and she really kind of drove forward. She played for Bayern Munich and then she came to Arsenal. unfortunately, she was crippled as well with loads of injuries, and it seems to be like anybody who goes to Arsenal, like has some kind of mad injury. But yeah, Zinsberger, our team goalie, she's really solid, and she signed a new contract as well now till 2020. In 2023, she signed in March, so there's another extension there. So look, she's not the youngest anymore, but she's still solid, like, and goalkeepers can play. We bought a few new keepers as well, so just to give them some competition as well. But yeah, look, it's Thing and Windreuter as well. She's a good defender, quite young, plays not a national team player from Austria, and she got injured, So like the ACL club, like last year was amazing. It was like there was more people on that club than there was anywhere else, and because they got injured so late in the season, they're still not ready. I know Beth Mead got early injury, and she's only coming back now. So I can't see Williamson or Windwriter coming back before Christmas. Probably I can't see it really. Like, and then being fully fit. That's going to be, I think, the main issue for it. So maybe not playing Champions League might not be too bad. Obviously, like, you want to be in any European thing, but if you have already, not struggling, I don't think we're struggling for players in the back, but we just want to be solid, and if you can give a bit more time for them to return, that gives you maybe a bit more concentration in the league, and that's what you want to do. You want to give Chelsea and Man City a bit of a run for the money. Man United are not going to sleep either, but obviously selling Russo to us was actually a kind of a bit of a masterstroke, because they could have sold her in January for, I don't know, like huge amount of money, and then she went for free. So a bit like the men's team, they're not all there. So yeah, financial advisor in Man United, I don't think they really exist. But yeah, look, it's one of these things that the season be interesting. All the teams, and because of the World Cup, the European Championship, they have more attractions now. Every team is getting stronger. So, and I think in the women's game, it's even more visible how strong the other teams get, because they get more funding, they get more things, they can buy better players, have better facilities, they get more attention from the crowds. So it's a really good thing and you can see it in, even as you said, Katie McCabe, our captain, like in the two last games when they played for Ireland, against Northern Ireland and Hungary now. She just played an absolute storm, and she is our Captain Fantastic. And talking about Captain Fantastic, here she is. Hello.
How are you, Lottie?
Evening, gents. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. So it was the key word, Captain Fantastic, and here she appears.
Yeah, you should know. You say my name, I appear like magic.
Yeah, it's like the genie. I didn't even rub a bottle or anything like that.
Nope.
They just came out. How are you anyway? I met you
Very
in London
tired.
a couple of weeks ago, so
Yeah,
it's
that
about
was
time
really
that we had the
cool.
thing.
That was pretty awesome because you were in the toilet. You saw me in my element, so
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, look, we just basically we actually just talked about the Carabaocup game yesterday, and things said we needed to do a show because, like, obviously season starting, so
Yeah.
we were just talking about our new signings, what we got in. I know that you know a lot more than I do and Johnny do together, because you be there, you are on the heat for the games all the time. So I just want to see what do you think of, obviously, what do you think about the Champions League?
Do you know what? It is that, but it's also a case of I'm very concerned about the start of the season.
Yeah.
And how we played. If you've watched that all the way through, anyone will know what I mean. I'm very, very concerned about that. And that back line terrifies me. I miss Leah already. I need her back now.
That's what I said with Raffaele going in it and
I saw
Leah
on
not there.
social media, Raffaele's already missing Leah Williamson. I'm sitting there, then come bloody home. Don't stay out there. Come home if you're missing her that much. But yeah, that back line scares me at the moment. As excited as I am, we've got Leah Cadena and Amanda Litstead. Like, I'm really like, it's a case of gelling and getting everybody to work as one. In terms of Kyra Cooney-Cross, Arsenal have given me my Christmas wish early. I watched her through that World Cup and I said I want her at Arsenal. And lo and behold, we've got her. So I can't wait for her to get started. I'm so excited. Steph Catley and Ian Wright did the bits, which was absolutely amazing. And And then obviously there's Leslie Russo. Leslie Russo is it's just her name, and she's that big star that we needed. We need her up top. And if you look across that top line now, even with Chloe Lacasse, we've got so much depth. It's scary. I mean, what are we going to do when everybody's fully fit? We've got rotation for Viv. We've got rotation for Bev. Yeah. Like, it's exciting. Even Stina's got more rotation. Wherever you play her on the left, or you play her, personally, I prefer her on the left than someone else through the middle. But it's just so much more rotation, and like Ford won't get every single 90 minutes that available to her. So hopefully all the injury will be reduced, and I'm quite excited. Yes, we're not in the Champions League, but that is temporary.
Yeah, and I think it might be, as I said, like it might be a blessing in some ways, because you don't have to play that many games. So like you might be able just to get through, because as you said, the back is definitely stretched with Winreiter out as well. You know, like we're not blessed. We're not blessed.
Season.
You know,
she's not going to be back this season.
So it's a tough one, you know, and I think we just have to improvise a lot, you know, and if you don't have to play that many games, it might be a bit of a blessing. But look, we all know, we all want to be like, and we be out of the cup, we say, it's a blessing that we're not in it, because we have give some other attention.
Yeah.
But when we're in it, we want to be in it, you know, and it's the men's is the same, you know.
And absolutely. I mean, last season to be a part of that 60,000 person crowd, it was just unbelievable. I was like, it was one of the best games I've ever been to at the Emirates. One of the best. Well, there's a few men's games ahead of it, but in terms of the women's, it is the best game I've ever been to. Considering in the winter, when you're sitting there in the cold and there's only about 7,000 people in the East Stand, and up on club level, the difference is just unbelievable. Yeah. And the atmosphere. I mean, there's a lot of fans there that have never been to the game, and they're singing all the men's songs. I'm sitting there. Why don't you just go and look up the Arsenal Women's Supporters Group? There's a songbook there, or you can go look up the Red and White. They've got their own songbook this year. I mean, Kyra Cooney Cross has got Martin Odegaard's song. Okay. They've tweaked it, and she's got his song. Like this, I'm not even joking. It works. It's brilliant. But we know how that's caught on like wildfire with the men's game. I mean, it's just a tweaking of a few words, and that's a benefit. I mean, I think Leslie Russo's got Granit Xhaka's song, but obviously changed the name. So it's actually
talking about songs. Sorry to disrupt you here. Like talking about songs, like are they actually playing North London Forever in the women's game as well? They do, yes. Good. That's good to hear.
In Meadow Park, you'll always hear the North Stand, the loudest and proudest. We are the singing stand. We're trying to get it round to the other stands, but there's not all fans want to scream their heads off every game. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
So which is understandable, but the girls need the support, and they can always rely on the North Stand.
Perfect. Now, look, I think, as I said, like it's an amazing thing, and I know, like we had you on last year, and I think, like I don't know how long we're now doing this kind of like, you know, not promotion, but like that we actually talk about a women's game. But you can see even from before we started it, because it just got this kind of attraction that we actually considered doing something like that, you know, because it's getting bigger. And then now we had the World Cup in between, and it just seems to be like there's no stopping where this could end, you know, like, and even today, like I think today was a momentous thing as well when they revealed the new Arsenal women away jersey, you know, which is, I think it's the first time that the women had a different jersey away than the men had. And that just shows you kind of, you know, not only do they try to promote the game, but they also make it like, you know, like something different, you know, give their own, as you said about the songs, you know, you should have different songs for the different players, you know, so why would you not have like a different jersey? Yeah. Maybe not the home one, because obviously, but the away one, you have a lot more thing for it, and it's great.
No,
you know?
Definitely. I mean, we've got a partnership with Stella McCartney. I've got a few issues with a few of her designs, but I've looked at that away shirt and it's not bad. Nice, apparently, it is a limited collection. So, if shirt collectors, if you're going to get one, get it now, otherwise you're not going to get it at all. Okay. But it's actually not that bad as I initially thought. But the tracksuit is just, let's just not go there. It's not released yet, but it's terrible. You can preview it on the Arsenal.com, but it is terrible.
You know, the funny thing is there's actually a men's jersey though. That's the thing, a men's fit.
Yeah, no, so. The thing is, there is, although it's a predominantly women's game, there are a lot of men that do go.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And it's just like, it's good to see, like, you know.
It's a really good crossover, although it's majority dominated by women, just like the men's game, majority dominated by men as fans. They are inspiring the next generation. So I'm with most of the team. They're my generation. We're more or less the same age, either side of like the early 30s. And I didn't have that. I grew up with Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
I had whisperings of Rachel Yankee, and for the next like future generations to be having this is,
brilliant.
I think the word for it is privileged.
Yeah,
they're privileged to be able to see this, and just just watching these girls just do a sport that I loved myself it is incredible, and it just makes me want to go more. It gets me excited. I want to do this, I want to do that. But I've also got to praise Arsenal at the same time, because they've always been one of the leading lights in women's football and setting the tone. Until this season, Chelsea never really played at Stamford Bridge. They only ever played Tottenham. They were a nice, easy team. But this time around, they've got a package going. It's a lot more expensive than Arsenal's, I can tell you that now. And they're playing their games there. But they've only really ever beat Lyon there. They don't win at Stamford Bridge very often, which is funny.
Yeah. Which is actually quite funny, isn't it? I actually just checked the Arsenal shirt for men. Unfortunately, only goes to large, so I won't be getting one.
Did you check Adidas, because they've got the bigger sizes?
They might have a look. Yeah, I just checked the Arsenal page here, but yeah, like as you said, if they're limited edition, they'll probably be gone pretty soon, and like I won't be able. But actually, I'm gonna order one, and hopefully gonna get it signed by Katie. That might be something what I try to do.
Good luck.
So yeah. Good luck, yeah. But yeah, so I presume you're looking forward now to the first game. Liverpool.
I can't wait for Sunday. I've got brand new flag and everything. I'm ready. I don't know if you guys saw Steph Catley's signing video, but I'm in that with my big red flag. So I was like, "That's me."
Cool, yeah.
It's really quite silly, but I was in that because we were standing there waiting for it was the game where that Frida scored that banger. The quarterfinals for the Champions League, and the guy kept circling us with the camera, and I'm like, why is he standing here? And lo and behold, it was because we were singing the Steph Catley song to a group that were like by the media entrance. We were waiting for a couple of friends to come out the armory, and we were just singing back and forth to each other. And because obviously the song goes, "Oh, Steph Catley," and then it's repeated back and forth. So I think that's why he was sort of circling around. But obviously you've got Steph talking over it. When you watch the initial video. Yeah.
Look, it's as I said, it's growing, like, and we're just all looking forward to it now. And as I said, it's built over to the World Cup, and like the Irish women, obviously not what, but I think like when we seen the group who we had to play, like we knew we're not going to go to
World Cup, and for Kate to do a Steph Catley corner.
Yeah, brilliant.
Beautiful.
Like I mean. It's just amazing. They're going to be in some ways we were actually quite unlucky that we didn't win one of them games,
oh no, definitely. But it's also down to the experience. If you look across those teams, you've got players like Christine Sinclair. She's 40 years of age. The wealth of experience compared to say Katie's first World Cup is just different ball game. Although their experience like WSL, and you've got the NWSL. I think it was Denise O'Sullivan who plays over in the US, but the rest of them all play here. And so it is difficult.
And actually, like as you said, like like the experience, not only the World Cup, but even like like as we played now, like in the Nations League, and they played Northern Ireland and they played Hungary, and they look like a different team. They didn't look like I've been a few times now to Ireland, and like to the Ireland game, and they played quite well, but they just seem to be more cohesive. In some ways, I don't know if this is thing like they looked more technical, they looked more experienced, they looked more, like they were playing like really, and they scored great goals and everything. So look, it can just only be a good team, not only for like the future of who's actually watching them, but just being at the World Cup, it did them a world of good, and long may it last. And like the next qualification is just around the corner, so that's definitely what they need to do. So long may it last.
That's the goal. If you think about it, Katie's got to keep as a captain. She's going to keep pushing. Because she knows her sister's coming through, and her sister's going to have big boots to fill. Not saying that Lauren, Lauren's not like Katie, but she's going to have expectations on her shoulders. But she's already scoring like her sister, so we've got nothing to worry about. So we need to get her in an Arsenal jersey, though. I think that's going to be the big challenge, isn't it? Once Katie signed her contract, David Ornstein is. She says she's close, so fingers crossed. Chelsea can go sod off. So yeah, She's close
Yeah.
to signing. We're just waiting for it now.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, and as I said, yeah, they are going to be the future for the Irish football, and we need more of them. And then we've seen it, like, years ago with the men in 1990, like we had loads of Irish players, in the men's team, in the Premier League, playing for decent clubs, like not like now we have now players as well. They play in the Premier League, but they play on the bottom end of it, and you can see the quality on it, and that's what you need. You need to have the players there. Same for Austria, as I said. Like, look, I'm obviously Austrian. I'm obviously following the Austrian football with the 3 Austrians in our team. What we had in Arsenal, and they're gone on well as well. They played France, and it didn't look bad. They obviously lost 1-0 to France, but look. France is just a different team. They just have a lot more experience.
They've still got that new manager bounce as well after getting rid of the evil witch, as I call her. So they've got that new manager bounce. So the wealth of experience as well is stacked against you. You're just not going to get past them.
Right. So obviously it's Jonas's 3rd year now. I think so. What at the start of the season? What your expectancies of the season? What you hope for? What you think is realistic for us, like to go?
Well, I'd like my team to get through it in one piece and not be crawling over the line like the end of last season against Villa.
Yeah.
So that was. Do you know what? We lost 4-0, but it was still a good atmosphere. Do you know what? I just want to qualify for Champions League and just have a healthy team. That's all I ask for. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. After last season and the mini series of having to watch that all again, I was just like, please don't do that to me again.
But it was really an amazing thing, like that. So many of them, like that. So many of them got crooked, and not just normal injuries, like all ACLs. Like that is just. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think that has something to do with training or like? I don't know.
I have no idea. As I think I've said this before, but again, the football boots are designed for the men's feet. If you look at women's feet, our feet are a lot more smaller, a lot more delicate. It could be that, but the thing is, you can't. You could also look at the fact where Leah Williamson done her ACL.
Yeah.
If you look at the state of LSV, it's a rugby pitch. It's horrible. It's crap quality. But then if you look at the Arsenal ground, you can't complain about the pitch, and we've had 4 there, including Jurian Timber. Although his weren't as serious. So something needs to be done. I know Adidas are working on new boots for the girls, in terms of the way that women are structured and all the research and things. There is stuff going on, and there is other companies doing it, but there's so much more research that needs to be done in terms of women's sports injuries, because it's a completely different ball game. We're just built differently, and that's just fact.
And I think that's another thing, the improvement of the game, that gives a lot more funding for, like stuff like that, that you can actually go in and, like do some more research, because, because in running, you can see for runners, when they do marathon runnings, like they and Johnny, because you do run, like, a shoe has so much to do with the way you run. And, there is differences, in body weight, body shape, everything on it. But I think, like being like playing in front of like 50,000-60,000 people, give you the funding to actually go in and say to the sponsors, like, have a look at this, like, and hopefully you can get injuries like that, like being passed, not only with the shoes, but like, with everything else, I presume.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, you've also got to remember there are smaller clubs about at the moment, but the one big-ish club, which I'd have to say is West Ham. The West Ham women still haven't played in that ground. West Ham are not even bothering with their women. They're not making the effort like, say, Arsenal, occasionally Man United and Chelsea, because our long-term goal, as Jonas and Leah Williamson have said, is what they want the women permanently playing at the Emirates. I'm up for that, but that does mean everything's going to go up. But it's so family-orientated, you can't be charging the men's prices. Plus the fact the league is too small.
But do you think that's actually possible, like with organization wise? Because like obviously like the women's league and the Premier League, I'm not sure if they can, it's hard enough like to get a roster down,
I don't see why not. Arsenal have got the money to hire the stewards. I mean, we spend enough money on tickets every season. We spend enough money on the amount of kits and training kits they bring out every year. Yeah, they're paying the players well. They're investing in the women's team. We've spent a fair bit in the last 2 seasons. Yeah. Although it's undisclosed, you can see the quality that we've brought in. So I don't see why not. because it's been done before. The men have played Saturday and we've played Sunday.
Okay, yeah. But look, if it's possible, like, like that, it's just more logistic wise, I presume, just in case,
absolutely.
something.
I mean, initially there was 25,000 tickets sold when when the first packets were released. It's now gone up to 50,000 tickets in a week, and that is leading up to this Sunday. So it's not like people aren't interested.
No, I'm pretty sure, like, even Arsenal would like to see it, because obviously if you can get like 25 to 50,000 tickets on a game rather than having 5 or 10, that's obviously going to be more. And to be honestly, you do have to face it as well. If you want to progress the game, you would have to play in front of bigger crowds. You need to probably going to start charging a little bit more, not as much as the women's game, because if prize money goes up, transfer money goes up, the money has to come from somewhere. Yeah.
Sorry, I was a bit confused there.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, it just has to kind of thing. And look, in some way, as a club, like, it's not only saying like, this is Arsenal women. There is a funding from the Arsenal men's team as well, so something has to come from that as well. But you do need to kind of like,
club,
like grow it.
As much as they're a club, they're also a business, and that's how the board and everyone else views it, and that's why we get charged stupid amount of money for everything.
Yeah,
but
true.
Because the fans love the club and we Adidas just do perfect merch, it's going to sell around the globe, not just here in the UK, but globally.
Yeah, no. Look, as I said, like, I think it's going in the right way, and it's good to see. And look,
it will take time though. Like I'm talking about all of this, it just takes time to grow. But the speed it's growing at, it's healthy-ish. But I worry about that second half of the table. Are they going to be able to keep up? Because you look at Bristol, they've only just moved to the men's stadium.
Okay.
After being promoted, are they going to be able to afford the players that, say, the money that Man United have spent this summer?
Yeah.
So
that's the team for you. But look at that, there is still improvement thing, and one improvement I have to say, which they did already in the shop. They have like a women's section now, which is great. The only thing I was disappointed with,
it's always been there, but it's been shoved
it's been, but they have it's kind of more like visible now. Like, the only thing was they didn't have any Katie McCabe shirts. You had to go and print them, and when there's loads of people there, I'm not going to be queuing to get the name on it. So I said, like, I was complaining to the students that, where's the McCabe shirts? They said, all the other ones there. Like I said, like, we didn't have any. So all right, look.
Oh, I get that. I mean, I have a few friends who do work for Arsenal. They are looking to add a women's sort of section for the history and on the tour. They're also hanging the women's shirts up in the men's changing room side by side with the men's now, and it's just nice to see them things happening. Well, hearing about them things happening behind the scenes. I'm waiting for women's match day when I've got time to go on a tour, so I can actually go see all these hanging up, or maybe the day before, because you can't go in the changing rooms on the day of the tour, on the day of the game. You don't get to go in there.
Yeah, but on a men's game you can do that, no? There is a match day tour, no?
Yeah, there is a match day, but you're not allowed in the changing rooms.
Oh, so no, okay, so you're allowed to go everywhere else? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They'll take you on a slightly different route.
Yeah. Obviously, because you might be hiding in there and just popping out of the wardrobe,
Or we can have another Sky incident with the phone on the back of the chair.
Yeah, look, as I said, it's going to be an interesting one, I think. Look, we can only hope that, like we as you said, that we keep in one piece and just like give them a run, for their money, and I think, as you said, we bought loads of good players. Unfortunately, a few left as well, which we didn't expect. But look, that's football, and we can just make the best out of it. So, like, it'll be an interesting season. Quality is going to get better. The television rights get better. So everything is going in the right direction. So all we need is, like, we can get something out of this and thing. And like for you, like as well, you're going to see. Is it easy for you to get to Bournemouth or to the Emirates?
I'm quite blessed. I live smack bang in the middle of the Emirates.
Okay, cool.
And Bournemouth, I'm like in the middle. It's the same amount of time each way, so I'm quite lucky.
That's all right. And so, like, for us, it's the same way as well.
Yeah.
It's out in the ocean.
You still got to fly in either way.
Actually, the funny thing is, I tried to go twice to an Arsenal women game, and every time I went, we got not the tickets, but we went over, and then it was kind of like cancelled because of logistics, but either the FA Cup was playing in Bournemouth and we couldn't play there, so then they cancelled the game and put it on the Sunday, and it just played after the men's.
No,
so twice I went over the
thing.
You
You get to maneuvered around the men's games. and it slightly annoys me. Is like our opening game, you've got over 50,000 fans turning up. Isn't that something you want to showcase? But we're not on Sky. We're on the FA player. So
okay, that's that's smart.
It's not fantastic, but I understand why, because there are bigger games that are on.
Yeah, like
Villa, Man United, and I think one more. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah. So, but like, and again, even for television time, you're gonna compete now on, like if you play on a Sunday, you have the Premier League times, as well. So that's what I mean. It's kind of like it has to be looked at. I don't think it happened that quickly, but like, in the end of it, they will be on television everywhere.
Oh yeah. Eventually, I do feel like Sky should have their own like sort of WSL channel. Just definitely, because the times. I think the one thing I had planned to go to Bristol away, but they've moved that from a 2:00 on a Sunday to 6:45. There's no way I'll make it back to London.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same with the Man United away. I was meant to be going that because it's my birthday that weekend.
Yeah,
6:45 on a Friday. Are you serious? Like, no consideration for the fans at all.
Yeah,
especially the ones that will follow them up and down the country. And I do respect the people that do manage to get to those games, but for some people, it's physically not possible.
Yeah. Now, look, as I said, look, as well as, like, as you said, the WSL channel for Sky would again bring more revenue. So it's all gonna good. But yeah, it still needs a bit of tweaking, because it is the fan base is growing.
We're a long way from that, and I understand that, but it's a future thing for sure.
Yeah. And I think there's more influential heads as well in Arsenal now who make this kind of decisions, and they've been driven by the fan base as well.
With Arsenal, we're one club. It doesn't matter if you're men or women academy. We're one club, and that's the end of story. And a lot of clubs do not have that mentality, and it's one of the reasons why I love my club, and I will follow them over land and sea.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good. Well, as I said, it's a big first show. I hope we can do this more often, and see how we progress to it. For me, it's kind of like, as I'm behind the back of Johnny's show, and doing most of the work there, but so I'm trying to pull myself out, and go in front. It's always hard, but it's for me, as I said, I just want to spearhead this, and I want to have people like yourself, being on the show. I think that is so valuable for us and for the fans we have, in Ireland, who want to go to a women's game and don't know what it's like. So we try to do a bit more of that. And actually, what we're gonna do is, and I was thinking the whole thing, how can we do a giveaway? I want to give away a mug. I know it's not a women's mug, but it's the Declan Rice mug, what we made ourselves.
Oh, brilliant.
So we did, and I don't give this away because I only bought it, but this is like the Granny Xhaka tribute picture, what we have. So this is gonna go on my wall. But maybe in future I'm gonna get him to sign it, and then we can give it away. No, but what I'm gonna do is we're gonna give away a mug and a lanyard and a little. I don't know. Did I give you one of the pins? Did I give you one when I was in London? Next time I see you in London, remind me. I give you a
Let
pin.
me know when you're coming over.
Yeah,
you'll find me in Toddington anyway.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the next one for us is going to be Burnley, and there's going to be a lot of us over. So we meet somewhere there if you're there.
I actually didn't get the ballot for that. I've done really well the ballot. I've not had the only ones I've missed is 3 games, and that's Burnley, Sheffield United, and Tottenham. So, but I will be around. I'm not going to
be around, and then I think we're going to go for the Champions League one against Lions. So that should be our next Champions one. So, like, look, we're going to see you somewhere. If not, like, I give it to Ozzy. Ozzy might give it to you. We'll figure out something out. But yeah, giveaway is going to be a mug, a lanyard, and a pin. And what I want people to do is to put their score predictions into the thing. So whoever's going to comment, put the score predictions in. And whoever's going to get the right score is going to get this pack. Whoever's going to be the first one, obviously, who's going to answer with the right answer. So there's no whatever it is. Okay, not that we get loads of comments anyway, but look, that's what we got to do. So we want to try to encourage people to answer anything for see how they get on. And yeah, then we're going to give this away. Listen, thanks very much. Good show, I think, for the first one. Lots to talk about, obviously, about new signings and where we're gonna go, and obviously the win against Brentford yesterday, and playing West Ham, and then Bournemouth. It's a busy schedule, between like watching the games and doing like the shows and things. It's not much time,
No, there isn't. It isn't.
What
This
don't
is
we do
what
for the
you get
food?
when you support one club.
Imagine like you support two.
I don't. I know women's fan. I know someone in the women's fan base who supports Liverpool men and Arsenal women.
Jesus.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, that's a bit of a
that's a normal thing though for us.
Is it?
That's normal. Yep.
Yeah.
Why
no
is
one bats
that?
an
Like,
eyelid.
why? How? I don't understand. I can't understand it. Well, I don't know.
I don't understand it myself, but I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, just weird, isn't it? Well, look.
Lottie's a secret sports fan.
That'd be even weirder.
Yeah, you'd have to put me 6 foot under before that happens. I don't really fancy supporting Beth England and Ashley Neville with our ball haircut. No, thank you.
God. As Eamon said before, like, you know, like especially with Chelsea fans, you know, it's one thing they're great. Like the men and the women are actually same irritating as both of the others. So that's quite good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, look, we leave it at that today. Listen, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, you know. And as I said, we hope that we can do this, maybe not on a regular basis, but we try to get people on. And I said I have to try to get the writer from Just Arsenal from the women's team, because she's Irish, and she actually I have to write her because she said she wants to come into the club. Obviously, we're watching our games in the River Bar in Dublin. And we just have to. She actually tried, like, and this is quite good. And again, just before we actually finish, she actually said she wanted to try to do an Arsenal women's supporters club. So to get like obviously like-minded people, you know, who wants not only want to watch the women, but because they're on television now, so there is the chance now that we can actually put the games on, and
you could
that just shows you how far we go.
And just Arsenal Women's Supporters Ireland or something like that, because obviously we've got the one that's based here, and with Arsenal they limit it. But if you haven't got one in Ireland, do it. 100%.
Yeah, so see how that goes, you know, like, and again, look, we have enough Irish influence, you know, as well in thing with Emma Byrne and Katie, you know, like being so vocal as well in Ireland and in Arsenal. So look, there's enough potential there for doing it, you know. It's just like any other club. Like our club was founded 30 years ago, you know. Somebody had to go and do it, and you know that's what you want to do.
Why not do it again?
That is the next step. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know, like, you've been only home, you know, so and we have to do things as well. Thanks for coming on, and we see you next time. All right.
Thanks
for
having me.
Bye.
Cheers, Lottie.
Just gonna